So anyone that knows the channel knows that I was dying and waiting for this particular case to drop. It is the Caudabe Sheath for the S23 Ultra. And man, without giving too many spoilers, if you're someone who likes thin, minimalistic cases and has the S23 Ultra, this should definitely be in consideration. But let me tell you why. Let's get started. This is the Caudabe Sheath for the S23 Ultra. All right, so as you can see here, I already have the black unboxed and on my phone. I've been using the black model for about 2.5 weeks or so at this point. It's honestly been on my S23 Ultra since the cases came in, but let's go ahead, unbox the amethyst colorway so that way you can see what comes in the box, what the case looks like, all that other good stuff, man. So let's go ahead and do that. So like I said, first things first, you got your box. You got your little call outs there to kind of some of the main features. You got drop tested to 2 meters, protective screen up, so you do get a nice lip, textured grip as well. And trust and believe, we will definitely be talking about that textured grip. Some more stuff on the back in terms of some branding and their mission statement. You can pause the video and take a look there. But let's go ahead and get to the star of the show, which is the actual case itself. So when you open it, you got this nice kind of little flap here where you can kind of just pull that up, some Caudabe branding up top. And there's the case itself. You got some more information there in terms of like warranty exchanges and how their customer service typically works. So this again is the amethyst colorway and it looks really, really clean. Obviously, I'm a, partial to black kind of user. I prefer, black cases or whatever, especially coming from Caudabe with the sheath, but this is a really, really dope colorway. I actually really, really like this. So you do get a little bit of booklet with some information and some of their other products here, so you can go ahead and take a look. Obviously, as always, I'm gonna leave a link in the description. Go check out the site and show them some love. The inside of the box got that nice Caudabe print. Looks good there. Let's close this up because there's really nothing else in terms of that box presentation, but it's always minimalistic and super dope, just like their cases. So here's the actual case itself. And first things first, what I want to do is bring over the S22 Ultra version of this case to really get a good comparison going. So that way you can kind of see where we started and then where we're at currently. So first thing you're going to notice if you hold these two side by side, and I'll kind of do this and you'll be able to see. So like definitely not the most material here in terms of like the actual case. Then you kind of do the same test here and you can see it's definitely a lot more material on the S23 Ultra version of the case. And when I say more material, like the overall material just feels thicker, which we'll talk a little bit more about that here in a little bit, but it helps way more than you would think. Next thing that's different is the actual camera cutout. So you can see on the S22 Ultra version, we had that kind of P cutout that a lot of case manufacturers had. Whereas on the S23 Ultra variant, you can see that each camera cutout is actually precision cut. And then even on that, on the right side here, you can kind of see like a little indent for the camera lenses on that side. So love the precision cut fit. This is obviously what it looks like with the case on. You can see that those holes are precision cut. They match up perfectly, and your cameras are even a little recessed in there. You can kind of see it from that angle. Your cameras are actually recessed. So when you lay your phone down flat on the table like this, you're not going to be touching, the cameras to whatever surface you kind of lay your phone on or whatever the case may be. So definitely dope in that regard. Let me bring that right there. Other than that, in terms of differences on the case, you're really not going to notice a whole lot. Bottom cutout for the most part, and let me actually move that. Bottom cutouts are honestly, for the most part, the exact same. If anything, the S Pen slot looks a little bit tighter rather than just being looser on the bottom of the S22 Ultra case. And that's honestly the running theme of all the cutouts when I'm looking at it. The actual little port here, you can see is more tight and more precision cut than it is on the S22 version of the case. And then the top of the case, honestly, really not a whole lot different. You obviously can just see case looks a little bit thicker. Now, in terms of buttons, pretty much the exact same as well. Buttons were never an issue on the S22 version of this case. Now we'll take it to the inside of the case and you're going to notice another big difference. So With the S23 Ultra version, you'll actually see that they gave us this nice microfiber lined material that's going to sit really nicely on the back of your phone rather than just having the normal kind of silicone material that was on the S22 Ultra version. So that is definitely a dope and welcome change. I can't wait to see them add this to all of their other cases in the lineup. I want to see this on everything else. So definitely a dope touch. But now that we've kind of covered what the case looks like, let me bring over the S23 Ultra. And forgive me, I just want to make sure we put on Do Not Disturb. That way I'm not getting a ton of notifications while y'all are, watching the video and things like that. So shout out to the homie Gohan there. Y'all already see how that goes. Gohan is the best in Dragon Ball, just saying. But either way, let's go ahead and get back to the case, right? So you'll see, first thing that I noticed when I put this on my phone was the actual fit. And like, if you remember my review of the S22 Ultra version of this case, I really wasn't the biggest fan of how the fit was on this particular case. Like when you would kind of branch out the sides, you can kind of see me tugging. There's really not a whole lot of give. And what you normally see with cases is around like the volume area, you have a lot of give. And like the sides, because the edges are curved, you have a lot of give. On this particular case, they actually wrapped the case around the curves of your device. So that way you don't have like a ton of, or a ton less material here on the edges. So it fits your device a lot more snug than the S22 Ultra version did. Even going top and bottom, like you can see there's barely any give there on the top and bottom. But I know we got an S Ultra device, so we got to test out that S Pen here at the bottom. And like I always say, if I can get to the S Pen without any nails, y'all already know the whole nail situation, y'all aren't going to have any problems getting to this in particular, anything like that. Sorry guys, got to clear out these notifications. All right, there we go. But yeah, if I can get to it with no problem, y'all aren't going to have any issues getting to the S Pen either. So definitely dope. Buttons feel really tactile, really nice press. Let me double click, get that camera shortcut going. No issues there. Volume buttons, superb. No issues there. Let's go ahead and unlock so y'all can see the volume buttons actually working. But yeah, you can see volume buttons there doing their thing. No issues at all. So that's essentially what the case in a nutshell looks like. If you're looking for something, thin, slim, minimalistic, but has this oh so beautiful texture on the back, which actually now that I'm sitting here kind of holding it, the texture, and it might be because this case is a whole brand new case versus I've had this one for, an entire year at this point. The texture feels a little bit more grippy. So I'm not sure if Caudabe's doing something a little bit different with the texture, but it does feel like ever so slightly more grippy in my opinion. It feels a little smoother here. But like I said, it could be because this case is a year old and this one is obviously, brand new. But yeah, if you like slim, minimal, beautiful grip in terms of like texture for you to hold the device with no issues, you obviously cannot miss with the Caudabe Sheath. If there's one thing that I have to point to with this particular case, in Caudabe, you knew it was coming. It's got to be the lack of MagSafe. Now, I know it's really, really hard to do, right? Because it's not just throwing magnets on the back of the case in a circle, right? They have to get the wireless charging aspect right, because if you don't line it up properly, you're not going to get the best in terms of efficiency for wireless charging. Your phone could start overheating, all that other good stuff. There also comes a point with specifically the Ultra devices with the S Pen built in. If you don't do your magnets correctly, whenever you have a MagSafe accessory attached to the back, your S Pen will start to not work as it should. It works, but you have to apply a whole lot more pressure. It just doesn't work as seamlessly as it normally does. So I get that adding MagSafe isn't necessarily the most easiest thing to do. That is literally the only call out or mention that I can make about this case. And for a device like the S23 Ultra that doesn't natively support MagSafe anyway, if lack of MagSafe is the only thing that I can call out for this particular case, this is an absolute home run. I don't care what case you currently have on your S23 Ultra or what case you were looking at. If you're someone who likes thin, minimalistic, it gives you more than enough protection. You got your lip there. You can see the top and bottom. If you care about thin, minimalistic, good texture, you owe yourself to give this a shot. Definitely give it a shot. As always, I'm going to leave a link down in the description box below. That way you can go and show Caudabe some love. See all the different colorways for this particular case. I want to say it is the amethyst, the all black, and then they have a green colorway as well. So definitely go to the site, check out not just the sheath, but they do also offer plenty of other accessories too. So Caudabe, appreciate you guys shooting out the sheath for me to take a look at and review for the channel. As always, this is Ike's Tech Talk. I'll catch you all in the next video. Peace.